camera there. Let's see if I can get the background on. Alrighty, family, hang on a minute. Bear with me for just a second. And sorry guys, give me just a moment here. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. All right, family. Hopefully y'all can hear me on YouTube and on TikTok. I see some hearts on TikTok, so that means we're being seen there. Guys, you got thumbs up over here on YouTube as well. Let me know y'all are there. I'm going to try to get this set up on here as well. I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to do it on perfect. I got some thumbs up there. Wonderful. Everybody can hear me good? Perfect. Let's see. Hopefully the giant will be joining in just a little bit. We got the wifey over here who is not a fan of cameras. And I apparently don't know how this thing works on here. So bear with me for just a second. I'm going to try to set this up as more of a podcast. So what I may have to do is exit and come back in. Not sure. That one? That's a share screen option. That's a share option.
Trying to help without being in the camera. That's difficult. I'll crawl under the desk and see if I can fix it.
See,
So you don't see my face.
Upload thumbnail. Would that help any? Guys, y'all just bear with me for like another second or two. I promise once we get past these technical difficulties, we'll be good to go. Maybe. Absolutely. We'll definitely be praying for you. And we'll definitely keep you in our prayers. Well, this might be the best we can do. So everybody can hear me on TikTok, and everybody can hear me here on Scoots her chair further away. Wow, there's a lot, folks.
Well, that might be
heard and not seen. So you guys can hear her okay? We got some folks hollering for Cricket in here. Thank you, brother and sister Cricket.
Aww.
Kingdom Saint, thank you so much. Love y'all guys. Super excited about being here tonight. Super excited about having the wife with me. This is a first. So I know for a fact that the rapture is about to happen. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I've only been trying to pester her to do a live with me ever since the dream she shared last year. Was it last year you shared your dream? So to the folks that haven't heard it, let's go over it one more time.
No.
Absolutely. We're going to, guys, hopefully y'all can hear us on TikTok as well. So Cricket last year had an amazing rapture dream. And really quickly, before we get into tonight's, really deep study, I wouldn't mind her giving a little bit of that backstory.
No, because then when I share it, I'm going to start crying.
Oh, you won't cry too
Can't get
much.
through it. It's not gonna happen.
All right then.
Yeah, but you recorded it, so.
That's true. I did record it.
So one time, share.
Let's see.
They could see they could hear it.
Yeah, they could
So that was
definitely.
bad enough.
They could definitely hear it. That's for sure. All right. Well, then, Miss Cricket, we were hoping to have the giant on as well. So if he chimes in on the TikTok, we'll get him coming in here as well. So hopefully, again, everybody can hear me well. I'll see how many more times I can say well. And usually, just so we're on the same page, as far as doing lives, it's hit or miss. I haven't done a live really in a very long time. And most of the reason is because I can't stop and re-edit. So I have to really slow down, which is not something that I'm capable of doing.
No, you're a fast talker.
Yes, very fast talker. And so this will be fun for everybody. At least I hope. Don't laugh at me too much. Yes, I am from Arkansas, so forgive my my drawl or my way of talking. Let's go first to the Lord in prayer. Let's ask him to lead this. And let's keep Marty in our prayers as well. Hopefully he's doing okay. I know he was wanting to be a part of this tonight, so maybe we can get him to chime in later. But either way, and all the prayer requests, even if they're unspoken, Disciple from Jesus, you're about 2 hours from where I'm at, over in Branson. I know exactly where that's at. But let's go to the Lord really quickly in prayer, and then we will just let him lead from here, okay? Dear gracious Heavenly Father, we love you, Lord. We thank you for this amazing opportunity that I get with my bride, and how your bride is coming together, and how you're leading these things, and how you're working all of these things out. We take no glory in this. This is not a vain glory. This is nothing that I've done. This is nothing that Cricket's done. This is all because of you. And these deep dives that both her and I've been able to really do these last couple of years, is all because of you. So, Father, we take no pride in any of that. We praise your holy name. We thank you for your words being spoken and not ours. Amen. Now, with that being said, guys, this here's Ninja Dave. Ninja Dave. I'm going to hit you with a Judy chop. My face looks so weird on these lives, too. It's not mirrored. It just looks so strange on YouTube. Don't make fun of my face. Okay. The wife says I have a beautiful face. I don't know if y'all can see it, but looks pretty rough. I've got the live going on TikTok as well, which thankfully I've got a background on TikTok.
Yeah, we figured it there.
Easy to do on TikTok. Apparently I'm just slow when it comes to YouTube, but I'll learn it. This is our first real live that I've done on here. 6 years. The last one that I've done, Marty's already dug up the dirt and found awful pictures of me from 6 years ago. Wow. Looked very scary. Anyways, Cricket, what you got for me, Cakes? I'm excited. She is never one to want to do anything video related. I had to just about push her off the cliff to share her rapture dream, which again, now she doesn't even want to share it now.
It's still hid under a pillow.
Yeah, she was literally cringing under a pillow when we shared this her rapture dream, which I'll try to reshare it if I can find it. And but anyways, it's absolutely phenomenal how God works, and how obviously he's given her this amazing strength to be bold in these last days. And I'm super excited. Wow.
Maybe I'll just pretend that I'm talking to you.
Hey, that works. That works for me.
That's probably the best way to do it.
Not a problem.
So,
and guys, if you cannot hear Cricket, she's very soft spoken.
Yeah.
Let me know.
I'll try and talk louder.
I'll give her a pinch or a punch.
So, oh goodness, was it? It was probably 2 years ago. But I was reading in Revelation, which is obviously my favorite book. I always read in Revelation. I don't know why that is. I've read other places, obviously, but for some reason it was always like the coolest part. You know, you have a favorite
Yes.
part of your movie, so you want to watch it over and over. And that doesn't mean you skip the rest of the movie, but you definitely have your favorite parts. And so Revelation was that for me. Well, I'll say where this started was I got to chapter 2 of Revelation, verses 12 through 16 or 17, and I was like, Satan's throne. And then it said again, this is where Satan lives, and it was talking about Antipas, where he was martyred. And I was like, wait, so if Satan lives here and has a throne here, there has to be some historical context to Pergamum, right?
Right.
And so it was then that I jumped on. Of course, I pulled up the old Google, and I was like, what's in Pergamum? You know, what's a tourist attraction in Pergamum? You know, why is it important? And that was when I realized that, you know, it's known for its altar of Zeus. Like, that's what Pergamum's known for. It's what people go for. And so I was like, okay, so there's a connection between Lucifer and Zeus. And in my mind at that point, I was like, wait, so Zeus is Lucifer. And so I'm just explaining my thought process out loud here. But I remember running outside on the deck a couple years ago and telling you that. And I was like, I don't know if this is something that people will think I'm crazy for, if they're even ready for. And I remember like saying, I'm just never going to tell anybody else. It's just going to be me and you. And I'll keep digging into this, and I'll get all this other stuff to back it up. And then I don't know if I'll ever share it. Well, and of course, like in the way my mind's always worked is I've always looked at the Bible for myself. I never like looked up what scholars and other people found in the Bible, and not to say that there's anything wrong with it, but I wanted to see what God would show me for himself.
Yes.
And so I didn't realize it, of course, until after that I shared that with you. It was probably another year after that I was like, wait, when you Google this, other scholars have found this too. Mm-hmm. And so that was when I started really digging into it, because I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. This is, you know, because, you know, when other people share something similar to you, it almost seems confrontational. Like, wait, I found that first.
Yes.
But then I was like, wait, this isn't confrontation, it's confirmation.
Yes.
Like,
that's amazing.
This is God telling me that what I found and what I was hoping to be from God is confirmation coming from another Christian person.
Yes,
you know,
that's amazing.
And so anyway, so all that to say that it was that scripture, that part of Revelation that actually kickstarted this whole study that I ended up going down a rabbit hole on. And I was like, because there's no way that this is the only time that God's going to talk about Zeus. It's not the only time that this is going to be brought up in the Bible. Well, anyway, so past conversations, I'll go ahead and catch them up. So we had talked before about how...
We talk a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Just so we're clear.
We have a lot of deep conversations.
We have a lot of great conversations.
A lot of conversations that were like, I don't know, should we take this to people?
I take it to my giant, and most of the time that's kind of where a lot of our conversations
start. A lot of it is either are people ready for this?
Right.
And the other side of it is, you know, just open discussion of am I right? Am I seeing this right? Right. Because you obviously don't want to go out and share anything with other people if you're seeing it wrong, you know?
Right. Yes.
And so you want to talk to other people, and they're like, okay, am I taking this out of context? This is right. Well, anyway.
Am I rightly dividing? All of the things.
Yeah, because you don't want to. I don't want God mad.
Right. So that's one of the things that I learned with that is like the layer thing. Yeah. So I'm in the layer. However, I got to make sure I'm staying in the correct layer of the meat. So when I'm sharing the fat part, I'm not mixing it up with something else that doesn't go in. So like with the audience thing, which y'all guys have heard it a million times, I've got to make for sure that this is accurate in everything that I share so that it stays that way. So it's the same with you, right?
Yeah. It's like that's why I discuss it with you too, because a lot of times you can be like, actually, no, I don't see this, or you can come to me with something like, actually, I don't see that. You know.
Yes.
That's what.
Well, and to be able to question back and forth.
Yeah.
That banter is very important.
Like, I mean, even within the church, I'm not calling out the church, but
right.
Like some things you take to a Bible study or something, and you're afraid of how people will take it. Because, you know, if they don't see it that way, you're like a heretic.
Yes.
And so it's nice to have a marriage where you can be like, you know, is this crazy? Am I seeing this right? You know, before you take it outside. Well, anyway, so we discussed so many times that, you know, Lucifer, we know he came down, he wiped out a third of the angels that came with him. So I'm like, historically, the human people will always write down history. It'll either be verbal, or they'll write it, or they'll draw paintings of it. It's there.
Yes.
So you cannot tell me that Lucifer and his angels came down and there wasn't records of it everywhere.
Everywhere.
So that is also what kickstarted this, mixed with this whole Zeus thing. And I found in Pergamum was, okay, so if Zeus is here with his little followers, then where are they accounted for at? Where are they? And so that's when I was like, okay, so there's a connection here with Zeus, which means there's a connection here to Greek mythology. And of course, we all know Greek mythology better than Norse or Egyptian for the most part,
Right.
because of the movies and everything. We're more familiar with that.
It is shoved more in our face.
Yes, it is.
Than a lot of the other films
yes, it is. So I was
for
like,
a very important reason.
Right. And so I was like, okay, then let's start there, because there's no way that Lucifer and his followers will be here and not be looked at as gods. We know, yeah, it's profiling a little bit, but what we know of Lucifer is he is a look at me, I'm beautiful, look at what I can do.
Yes.
This is the power that I have. And his followers are going to be the same.
Exactly. Well, speaking of his followers, so you look at Old Testament, as in the days of Noah, you had the giants of renown. What does that mean? That means they're very popular, very famous, and everybody at that time knew who the heck they were. So yeah.
You can't tell me that someone who wanted to be God, who wanted that power and prestige, and everyone to look at him. You can't tell me that he would come here and be a nobody on the street. No.
Exactly. No.
He is going to be someone that is worshipped, someone who has idols after him, and statues after him, movies after him. Period. That's just who he is. So,
well, especially if he owns Hollywood.
Right.
I mean, how many of his movies are being shoved in our face right now?
Yeah, and I'll get to that.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
But so I was like, okay, let's start at Greek mythology for a second. So we know that he's called Zeus in the Bible. I mean, even you even go to Acts, where Acts 14, 9 through 15, where Paul heals a disabled man. And even he was, Barnabas was called Zeus and Paul was called Hermes.
Yes. Now, guys, did y'all hear that?
So we see this again.
Repeat that again. Paul and who?
Paul and Barnabas.
Okay. And they were called?
Barnabas was called Zeus and Paul was called Hermes. So we already see a connection with how closely people follow Greek mythology. These were their gods.
Yeah.
These were everything to them.
Yes, ma'am.
And so,
they would die.
Right.
They would sacrifice.
Yes.
The same things that we do.
The same thing that God wanted.
Exactly.
They were doing for these quote, every time I say gods, just understand that it's
little g gods.
It's little g God.
Yes.
Yeah, please understand that. I do not worship them. So
we approve of this.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, these people, and let's go back again to how people will react to this. It's not in us to just go out inside and be like, you pluck a grain of grass and be like, okay, let's start worshiping this. No, these had to have been figures that they met and saw at some point and watched them and their abilities in action in front of them.
Yes.
That's just how humans are.
Yes.
And this, unfortunately, could happen right now in the news. If someone went around and started healing people, they would be watched and they would be followed because people see them. It's an innate nature in humans to be like, you see and you.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
because seeing is believing,
right,
which goes against what Jesus said to our wonderful doubting Thomas. But anyways,
right. So that alone tells you that these great mythological little g gods were not mythological at all. These were real people. And so you start digging into that and you go, okay, so let's say for argument's sake, before I go into all the proof of this, that Lucifer is Zeus. We already know that God goes by, our beautiful God goes by different names.
Correct.
People don't understand that Lucifer did too. And that's what I want to get into too. In one place, Lucifer, guess what, is Zeus. And what happens when he goes over to Norse mythology?
Wait, so now he's Zeus.
Yes.
In Greek mythology, which I get.
Yep.
I'm not familiar with.
So in Greek mythology, our buddy old Lucifer, not our buddy at all, would be Zeus. In Norse mythology, he is Thor, and in their Egyptian little funny gods are Ra. This is the same guy.
Oh, wow.
This is the same guy over and over again. Why? Because there's no way that Lucifer and his little people are going to come down here and stay in one spot to be worshipped in one spot. No. And we're talking about human language too. So like just the same way as we call Jesus and God different names. It's still the same person.
Correct.
But
Correct.
we call him different names because of our language, because of our culture.
Yes. Like in Hebrew, and I'm going to butcher this because of my southern
I'm sure I will.
But Yeshua HaMashiach.
Yeah.
It's Jesus Christ.
Yes, same person.
Or Jesus the Messiah, which Messiah means Christ, Christ means Messiah. In Spanish, Jesus Cristo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you
and in Arkansas, it's Jesus.
Yeah.
Praise you, Jesus.
Same person.
Yeah.
We're worshiping the same Jesus.
Yes, ma'am.
Same thing with Lucifer. He has different names, and depending on where he was, where him and his followers were. So, like I said before, when you're talking about Rome, Greece, he was Zeus. You're talking about him going to north of the Vikings, he was Thor. And you asked me how I know that, and I'll get into that. Sorry, you have a question?
Yeah, I was about to ask you how you knew that. It's amazing how her brain works because, like, she's 12 steps ahead of mine. I'm thinking this, and she's like, "Oh, you asked me how I know that."
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, no, how? I mean, how?
So let's compare for a second.
Okay.
Even though Jesus has different names and different places, the description is the same. His powers are the same. His love is the same. His story is the same.
Yeah.
The same thing with Lucifer. So you look at different places that he was under different names, and you'll see that his powers are the same. So when he is in Rome, when he's Zeus, what are his powers? Sky, thunder, king of the gods. Okay? We all know this.
So the power of the air, like we see.
Right. See? Yeah. And you see all these connections back in the Bible.
6. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Then when we're talking about Norse mythology, which I keep stuttering over, Thor, what's his powers? Thunder,
well, I know it.
Storms, lightning, same power.
But now,
same person.
He uses the.
Yeah, and we can get into that because someone else is gonna. I know they're gonna say it, and I dug into it too. Trust me.
Okay.
When I was looking into the Egyptian gods, it's like, okay, they look physically very different.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, because when you compare Thor and Zeus, very similar physical attributes.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, so why is he blonde and beautiful as Zeus and Thor? And then you see him as Ra, and you go, okay, he's different. We're talking about Lucifer, who's in charge of Hollywood, who's in charge of movies, he's in charge of everything. You're telling me he doesn't know what a movie prop is? You're telling me that he, even though lightning can come out of his hands, that he's not going to play and pick up a hammer and be like, oops, it actually comes out of a hammer, not my hand. It's not coming out of a hammer. It's coming out of his hand. He just picked up a movie prop.
Now, hang on a minute. So, talking about movie props, in that latter movie of the Avengers, Thor changes his prop from a hammer to an axe. And then there were moments where he did have the axe. He had the power. And it was never in the hammer or the axe.
Because that was a movie prop the whole time.
And so they're putting that in our face.
Right. Well, you have to understand, Lucifer, I hate to say it, but he's smart. This is what it is. I wouldn't be in a situation as humans as well.
Right.
He is smart.
Right.
So he was not ever going to go from place to place and be worshipped by different people and not change something. To keep them guessing, because if you have all of these, because he knows, he knew the kind of world he would be a part of creating. He knew that he would be ushering in internet and all this other stuff. He's behind all the evil that we have now.
Correct.
So he knew going into this that he should probably change things up just a hair, enough to keep people thinking that these are different.
Well, okay. Now hang on a minute. That's amazing. But really quickly, if he wouldn't have changed and he would have been the same God everywhere else, then it would have just been choose Jesus or choose this God.
Right. People, if he had been obviously Lucifer, if he had been obviously Lucifer,
and we would have been able to call it out immediately.
We would have been able to call, this is all part of the confusion. We would have been able to call it out and be like, wait, this matches perfectly with our Bible. These same group of people all following this main quote unquote God, Lucifer, went around to all these different people because they can translate, because they can transport, and people would have put it together quickly. The whole point is to not get us to put things together. That's the point. Confusion has to abound.
And under the guise of fallen angel technology, or in their time, stargates, or different portals, different whatever, they were able to go to these places very quickly and become whoever they wanted to be in these other places. So instead of just Jesus and just Satan, you had Jesus, Thor, Zeus, and whoever the heck else he was.
Right. Now, we can backtrack to that and be like, okay, well, so why would he stay so similar to the way he may have appeared as when he was Zeus and Thor? And he changed drastically for Egypt. We all know this because they pull out the helmets, they pull out, all these things that hide their face and their head.
Right.
Again, we're talking about confusion. It's the same power. I mean, we're talking about Ra, who is Thor, who is Zeus, who is Lucifer, sun god, creator god. Just like Zeus was the king of the gods.
Right.
His temperament, his abilities, they will always transcend.
Satan was the leader of the fallen angels.
Yes, and he will always be the leader because this is his profile, who he is. Wow. He's always going to be the main one. So in every culture, whoever the main god in their history of fake gods is, that's who we're talking about Lucifer is. And then we can just drop it there. But if you keep going further and you go, okay, how are they described? Or how is this person's demeanor or temperament? And you can compare them. Temperamental, hot-headed. This is how they describe Thor. This is how they describe Thor and Ra. And you see, and then, you can stop there. You could just be like, okay, let's do this with Lucifer. But his followers were the same wherever he went to. And now this was before they started having children. So he's got his main group of people that surround him every time, everywhere he goes.
Jesus had his main 12.
Yes.
So you're saying Lucifer has his main 12
people.
And then they produced.
Right.
And then
and obviously they're producing differently everywhere they go. So like you can, you look in Norse mythology and you can be like, okay, this fake god had this many kids. Mm-hmm. And when he goes to a different place, the kid's going to be different. That lineage is going to be different because he's having different kids in different places with different women. So you can't compare them as closely as, who is this person married to in this place? Okay, who is he married to here? Because it's not going to be the same. They're sleeping around, they're having children differently and different. So you have to.
So now, but I will ask, because I've always been curious. I don't know if Scripture confirms or denies this, but I am curious. Was bestiality a thing?
Oh, absolutely.
So then that would also fit into.
And you go back to not just bestiality, but we know angels can transform what they look like.
Right.
And
now that's Scripture.
And you can pull up that Scripture if you want. It was, what was it? It was Hebrews 13:2 or 2 Corinthians 11:14,
right?
Where we talk about these abilities, if you will, that angels have, and of course these are going to be the same abilities that the fallen angels had as well.
You said 2 Corinthians, or was it 1 Corinthians?
Oh, sorry, 2 Corinthians 11:14.
11:14. Okay, let me go over there real quick. I'm going to read that 11:14. And no marvel.
I know. Trust me, this gets deeper and deeper.
Y'all caught that, right?
You go down this rabbit hole.
No marvel.
It gets worse.
Very interesting. For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministry also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Wow. That's, I don't know. I guess I'm not a huge nerd like my wife is. And no marvel. I mean, like that's literally in the Bible. So it's interesting.
Right. So
that
the
word
Bible
was
tells you what angels can do to an extent. Obviously, we don't get the Bible would be too big.
Right.
But we know that angels can transform themselves into other things, make themselves look the way they need to.
Right.
Okay. And so we know that the fallen angels will have these same abilities. Will have things that they can do that are specific to themselves, but also things that are all angels can do. So we know that angels can transform themselves. So we know this about now the fallen angels. So let's look at Zeus for a second. Yeah, he has physical attributes that are the same and when he's Zeus and when he's Thor. Of course, when he's Ra, he puts on the pretty helmet and makes sure no one can see him. However, we know that even Zeus, this was well known in Greek mythology, that he would transform and takes on different forms, often to seduce mortals or other goddesses, which we also know the fallen angels did.
Oh, yeah.
And and some of his favorite things to turn into was like a swan or a bull or an eagle. Yeah, I know. Like similar to like the bronze bull and how they killed Antipas, or similar to.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The bull plays a big role throughout history too.
Wow.
But, and I'm trying not to go too deep, otherwise we'll be here all night. But But all that to say, you cannot ignore the comparisons between the fallen angels, what we know them to be biblically, and these gods that people worshipped, and all in all cultures. This is not just Greek mythology. I'm just using that because people know that best.
Right.
These are the same people. This is Lucifer and his angels in different places under different names, same abilities, same temperaments. They're doing the same things, and people don't realize that these are all the same. They're all the same. This is Lucifer in different places. These are his friends in different places.
So Bubba News, and that's absolutely amazing. Ezekiel 32 gives us a very descriptive portion of what lies in the center of the earth. Those who are in Sheol, the pit, or Hades.
And we can get into that too. We've been having fun with Lucifer, but we can talk about his friends too. I mean, his friends too. He's going to have his main group of guys and gals that follow him around, these same fallen angels that he keeps close to them, close to him. And of course, they're going to have kids and all that. He's not going to keep a whole horde of kids and all that close to him. He's going to have his main people, right?
Right. Just like Jesus had his main 3 or main 12 over the 70.
Right. So, you know, I mean, you're talking about Greek mythology, tons and tons of gods in this. Same thing with Egyptian. Same thing with Norse. You go has a ton of people. Yeah. However, you have the main characters every time, if you notice. So, like when you look at Poseidon, and I'm going to butcher this name in Norse. It's the Ngord, Nord, I guess is how you say it. Nord, and then Sobek for the Egyptian god.
Okay.
So that's the same person. Again, I'm trying to tell people it's the same person. Poseidon, Nord, and Sobek, same person. All three, same powers, in charge of the sea, in charge of the wind, earthquakes, the Nile River in particular for Sobek, but he was water. Wow. This is the same person. He's going to keep his same abilities wherever he goes. He can change his props like we discussed. Maybe he puts on a cute little helmet, but this is the same guy. And we go into their description, and it's the same thing. You know, Poseidon was always depicted as being sort of a middle-aged man. He was aged in the face. When they talk about Poseidon, same thing when you go into Norse mythology, Njord, he was described as being an aged-looking man. So we're talking about two cultures that saw them probably more closely to who they really looked like, as closely as they can. But we know they change.
Right.
But more closely because it's the same. You know, there's too many crossovers. So like the same with Poseidon. So he was known for having twins, right? Like that was a thing. I'm guessing that's in his genes, which I hate to say it that way because they shouldn't have been reproducing, but you get what I'm saying. Right. Poseidon was known for twins. Same thing in Norse mythology. Njord had 1 or 2 sets of twins. It's weird, the crossover that you see between these different, they're the same person. Yeah, maybe they were married to someone with a different name here, or maybe that person is the same wife that they had when they were in Greek mythology, but she changed her name too. Because even you look at when Zeus was Thor, interesting, both married their sister. I mean, there's similarities here. And of course they married their sisters and brothers. These are fallen angels. They were sisters and brothers. So you're going to see that in Greek mythology. You're going to see that in Norse mythology. You might see that in Egyptian. I haven't gone too deep into all this or I wouldn't sleep. But you see that over and over, the sister thing of marrying their sister. They're brothers and sisters. They're angels made by God. They were brothers and sisters. They were never intended to marry each other and have kids and go down and have kids with humans. That's why you see that repeated over and over and over culturally.
Just a quick pause. Timber, my sweet, sweet Timber, he says, "It's okay, Cricket. I love you." I mean, take a breath.
I'm sorry.
This is absolutely
This is what we do on the deck, too. I just go out and I just word vomit to him. And I'm like, look what I found.
I'm hitting her with a bunch of stuff, like screaming because thank God we live in the country. But I'm hollering at her and she's hollering back at me.
I know. We get excited and talk back.
Very ecstatic about this. Yeah. I mean, us being in the time that we're in right now, which y'all guys already know.
And honestly, that's why I had the guts to start talking about this now, even though we've been discussing it for 2 years, because I was finally seeing people step out on TikTok and mention some of this stuff. And I was like, wait, they're missing this detail. They're missing that detail. And I was like, but that crap, that means I have to go out and talk about it. And I really didn't want to.
Well, I know Miss Ashley, which she's very big on TikTok.
I was so happy. I was like, yes, this is other people are seeing this. Yes. And that gave me confirmation. Like, okay, Kristen, you're not crazy.
No.
Other people are catching on. This is great. Right. This is great.
Well, and guys, just really quickly, I want to just really quickly, Genesis chapter 8, we see what the Holy Spirit's responsible for, okay? It's literally all right in here in the first part of the Bible. And this is what the bride does, guys. Genesis chapter 8, verse 1 and 2. God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him on the ark. And God made a wind, that's talking about the Holy Spirit, to pass over the earth, and the water ashway. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped. The fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped. And the rain from heaven was restrained. Holy Spirit, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, we have Holy Spirit in us. We are what's restraining literal, physical, real life.
Yes.
Demigods.
Yes. Oh, I'd love to share that part. I'm so excited about it.
Oh.
Because we can go into the animals if you want. You want to get
Oh,
into
yeah.
some animals?
Oh, yeah.
Biblical animals.
She's so excited.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to really quickly, she's going to go into the mythology animals, mystical creature things.
Well, I for now, I probably won't go into life and all that, or into the. Oh,
Tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Maybe,
right.
if she gets the guts to do this
what
again.
What is it? Because I went on a deep dive, and I maybe it's kind of late. The lake monster that they talk about in Ireland or is it Scotland? Help me.
Oh, the Loch Ness.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
We have connections to that in Greek mythology.
But what about Bigfoot? Do we have any connections?
I haven't gone down that rabbit hole.
I need you to go down that rabbit hole.
Right? I know.
If we're here after Saturday.
But see, this is what I do. I'm like, okay, what's the Bible say about it? And then I go on a deep dive based off what the Bible says. So I try to keep it as close as possible.
Elijah was a very hairy man.
I know, right?
So can we connect that? And that's not rightly divided.
I know, not at all.
That is not accurate. Anyways, so we see what the Holy Spirit is literally physically doing. And you see it even more so in Genesis chapter 1 and in Genesis chapter 8. But check this, because Jesus is amazing. What did he do? He walked on the water, showing literally his power and dominion over those gods. Take the floor, Cricket. You're doing amazing. I'm just trying to help her catch her breath a little bit.
I know, right? I talk too fast.
No. This is absolutely amazing. I will, guys, if you can, there's some way to slow this down.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, what's the reverse of speeding it up on TikTok?
If you sped it up, we would sound like a bunch of chipmunks. So don't speed it up.
Like the beehives when you like get the song down. I don't know what they're saying. And the accent doesn't help either. Although I don't think I have one. So no,
we lived in Montana for about 5 years, and every time somebody would talk to me, "Oh, you're not from here, are you, sweetheart?" No, I'm not. Thank you very much. And then they would go talk to her, and they would ask her, "Why'd you marry this country bumpkin?" And she's like, "Well, I'm from Memphis."
Yeah, I feel like we have a non-regional for the most part, but that's just my.
But apparently, I live in the sticks, and everybody thought I had an accent. Anyway, now back to the mystical creatures.
Okay, sorry. So, and I'm going to give credit to our oldest son on this one.
Oh, that's right, Ethicus.
So again, back to my favorite book, Revelation.
Yeah.
So I had hit the obvious funzy, which is chapter 9, 17 through 19. And this is when it was, it was talking about the, and maybe I should just read it. For those that don't feel like reading it right now. Starting at 17, it says, "And this is how I saw in my vision the horses and those who sat on them. The riders had breastplates the color of fire, of hyacinth, and of brimstone. And the heads of the horses are like the heads of lions, and out of their mouths came fire and smoke and brimstone." So, let's head back to Greek mythology for a second.
Okay.
That's the chimera. So
that's the chimera.
Yes.
Okay.
So chimeras, lion head, serpent tail, breathe fire. This is a chimera.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my freaking giant finally showed up.
Are you okay, Marty?
Yeah.
Sorry, my couch. I'm old.
I knew you were taking a nap.
See, I was actually worried, and Mark was not worried at all. I was like, maybe you should check on him.
Yeah, I texted you and asked if you had to, use the bathroom. Did you fall and can't get up?
I can tell by the fake concern in the message I got that it was actually from Cricket, not Mark.
That is correct. I'm going to ask everyone on YouTube really quickly, can you hear the giant? Which, just so we're clear, he is not of Nephilim descent, okay? He's just like 2, maybe 5, 7 feet taller than I am. I don't know.
Your sound I was watching, it was cutting out back and forth. Like, I don't know why. If it's because, like, you're pulling so much bandwidth because you're doing YouTube at the same time or something, I don't know. But it's not doing it right now. But before you sent me the invite, it was kind of cutting out.
Oh, the Timber Creek chiming in as well.
Hi, Cricket. Hi, boys.
Hello.
So
Was
really
it
quick
cutting out for you on your end? Oh, yeah, real bad.
So
Yeah,
is
I'm
that
not even in Hick Holler.
doing that or just TikTok?
No, it's all of us. There are several people saying that.
Is it? It's lagging on TikTok, YouTube as well. Okay. Well, I do apologize for that. We will definitely blame my wife.
What?
But
It's probably lagging because everybody wants to see Cricket.
that's probably what it is.
No.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen either.
No.
But it's good to know that she is a real
I've seen her.
person. That's right. You have.
Exists.
You have.
Yeah. It's like when someone says they have a girlfriend at
My girlfriend /
He's
wife,
got a girlfriend and her name is Marty. Really?
the giant. Oh, okay.
When those girlfriends who live in Canada, nobody's ever actually seen.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. My girlfriend lives in Canada. Go.
I apologize for the banter, guys, here on the YouTube channel. My Marty and my Timber are hooting and hollering with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we at, Cricket?
So, I mean, I won't touch on it for long because people do not like this. I mean, we're talking about the church who already doesn't like the connections between Zeus and mythology and the Bible.
Look, the church that I've been dealing with, like a lot of
It
things that I've been sharing.
I know. And so when you say chimeras in chapter 9 of Revelation, people do not like that.
But it is.
I
It's
know.
very.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
All the Greek gods and all that crap was fallen angels, Nephilim. It's all hidden technology, fallen angel technology ties into all that stuff. They were worshiping real beings, but they weren't what they should have been worshiping. They were worshiping fallen angels.
Yeah, and these beings are not mortal. So these are the same beings that we're seeing in Revelation because they've been here the whole time. They never left.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's it. That's it.
So then,
I agree.
praise God for the restrainer,
Right.
because we'd all be pooping our pants.
Oh yeah.
Which, unfortunately, the fear of them will be a thing in Luke's gospel very clearly.
At Marty's age, we might do it either way.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we can go down that rabbit hole for years, but maybe we can skip over to, and I mean, I don't know if anybody's interested in this. I'm sure they've heard this all the time too.
Extremely interested.
But and these are hopefully things everyone's already heard before, but just in case someone hasn't, we were going to bring it up again.
Right.
But the same thing that we were talking about, the connections between how these are always the same people. It's Zeus here, it's Thor here, but it's the same Lucifer we're talking about, just in different cultures. So we were talking about because we see throughout the Bible, we see God showing these fake gods that they are nothing, that they're not as powerful as he is, because these are the fallen angels and he made them, he gave them their power. So he is showing these humans who are worshiping the wrong people over and over that they are nothing, that they need to not be worshiping these people, they need to be worshiping him. And he does this in Exodus. And we see that probably the first time we see him do this, because in Exodus, people always think, these 10 plagues were just things God chose at random. No, they weren't random. These 10 plagues were literally hitting these Egyptian gods where it hurts, where their abilities were, showing that their abilities were nothing compared to him. And we see that with the first plague, he turns the Nile to blood. This is Happy, Osiris, and what was the other one? No, I'm not saying these Egyptian names right, because I'm just not.
I think his name was Buddha.
Kingdom. I don't know. But then we see in the frog plague, it's the same thing. The frogs were overrunning Egypt. This is Heket. Same thing with the gnats and the lice plague. That was Jeb. We see the same thing with the flies. He was telling them not to worship Khepri, if I say that right. Or are you Chit? I'm not saying, no, I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then the livestock dying in the 5th plague, that was Hathor, Apis, and Ptah. The boils of the 6th plague, that was Imhotep, Sekhet, and Isis. The 7th plague of hail, that was, Shu, Teptet, Set, and Isis. I'm not saying those names right. But again, you can see this every time. Every plague was a big don't follow this God. They're nothing. I made them. They're fallen angels. Don't believe them. And they still did. They still worship because they're idiots, like we are. But we're all idiots. But.
I resent that for more.
Yeah, I know. But it's easy to point fingers at, Egyptians or all that. Why did you do this? We mess up every day. So it's easy to look at the Bible and be like, how did you not see this?
Yeah.
But I do it. We all do it.
Right.
Yeah, it's easier to live with, a rear view mirror, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's easy to point fingers at them when I do it, and I know I do.
Yeah.
Anytime I can't pay a bill, I'm like, God, how am I going to do
I
this?
can't believe you did it. You guys have one rule.
Yeah.
How long after I wake up does it take me to break just one rule?
Right? Yeah.
I'm not even out of bed yet.
Right?
Well, we had conversations, me and Marty and Timber as well. Like we would read something and go, okay, and move on. But then now we go back to that. We see like Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. Obviously, the books have been opened. We are all making sense of things. And again, coming together as a whole, whether we see this layer or that or whatever, it doesn't mean either one of us are wrong as long as we're rightly dividing. We come together as a bride and we can start to add a lot more pieces. And this piece that I've got may not fit perfectly with someone else's pieces, but it may fit with someone else far down the road, whatever.
It's that whole ottoman thing when I was at the house. It's like Cricket was right, but she's always right. And with me, it made a lot of sense where my puzzle pieces I can't build a puzzle without some of your pieces. But when we're getting together and we start piecing this together, it makes so much more sense.
Yes.
And I think this increased knowledge is because of the internet, because we are, I would have never met you or Marty if it wasn't for us bringing the world closer by this, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would have never met you guys, never would have met half of YouTube, TikTok, whatever. I wouldn't know anybody if not for this literal coming together. And now we also can see it in this way. God allowed us to be scattered because there's very few of us. And he has to put us in very strategic places on this earth. And so he knows the work that we have to do. I'm sharing in this ministry. You, Timber, and my giant Marty are sharing in y'all's ministries in your states where you're at. It's absolutely amazing that we can all come together as a family and, again, put these pieces together.
Oh, Bradley, what do you have? Yeah, I can see them now. We have to make sure to place a watchman in Hickory, Arkansas.
That's right. The Lord chose me. Send me, Lord, I'll do it.
Yeah, but I was going to try not to show all of my findings on why it's the same people, but I want other people to do it too. But like I said, look into Zeus, Thor, and Ra.
Okay.
Compare them.
Okay.
It's the same Lucifer we know from the Bible. Do the same thing.
When you're doing your study, will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
There is something, and I can't place my finger on it, but there is something about Satan's real name being Hillel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Mike L.
Yet another name.
Gabriel L. Right? So there's got to be something to it. Why is his name so muddled and hard to find? Right? It's not really prevalent. Like it's almost been purposely kind of put down.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if there's a tie to these characters. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there's something sticking out to me.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, it's not. It could go even deeper, and that's why I was hoping to share it now, because maybe other people can bring other pieces that I haven't found yet. I haven't found a tie with their names. I've only found a tie with their abilities being identical, their physical appearances being almost identical, with the exception of the props that I mentioned earlier. How Lucifer does not need a prop to do his lightning, just as Zeus didn't. He did that on purpose when he became Thor in Norse mythology, because he wanted to throw people off. He didn't need the hammer. These were props that he uses now with Hollywood. He knows how props work. He changes just enough up to throw people off and make people think this is a different group of gods, but they were the same people. And that's why you see connections between Poseidon, Nord, and Sobek. These are the same people, the same gods of the sea, the same physical descriptions, with the exception of the Egyptian gods obviously putting on these props, the same as you see in little props in other sections too. But you see the same thing with Hades, Hel, and Osiris. These are the same people, the same gods of the underworld, the same abilities, all the way down to having, a three-headed dog or a dog that Hel has. It's the same. These are the same their same personality traits showing no matter where they go, they can't hide everything. So just as, you know, I may go into a different place and say, actually, you know, call me Rebecca here, I'm still going to have the same physical appearance. You're going to see some of the same characteristics of my temperament. All
spots.
right. That's why you see the similarities between all, because they're the same group of fallen angels with their same god, Lucifer, at the head of all of it. That's why Zeus is at the head of all of it, Thor is, and Ra is. Because he can't, he's being followed around by a bunch of gods that have abilities, but he cannot let them be better than him. So that's why he's still going to be the king of the gods, no matter where he goes.
And look, the same way they always thought they were gods back then are going to be the same ones that are going to be here during tribulation, and they're going to think they're gods again.
Yes, and
that's people of the earth.
And that was something that I told Mark I didn't know if I wanted to talk about. but the other day, I guess I'll lead with what I found forever ago, and then I'll see what y'all think about it. But so I've been stuck on the Four Horsemen for a long time. And I've been stuck on them because there's so many similarities between what they are doing in Revelation and the horse they're riding and the description to all of these different cultural gods. So you have the first, the white horse. We know he wears a crown and a bow. This is the same description you see in Apollo. He's always depicted with a crown and a bow. We know that he's bisexual or whatever. You know, you see these overlays between each horseman and actual descriptions in Greek mythology. And so
and the whole NASA program worships Apollo.
Yes.
That's their whole purpose.
Yes. And so the same thing with the red horse. And this is Ares. You know, he always has had red horses pulling his chariot. He was always known as red, always, you know, he was the war god. I mean, we know this. So this is why he goes forth with a large sword, because Ares is always depicted with a large sword, and he's always taking peace from earth in the form of war. This is what he did. Same thing with 3, the black horse. You know, we know that, or at least we think we know, thanks to other people helping, that this probably represents famine. And this goes back to Lemos, she was in charge of famine. And then, you can question the black horse thing because Lemos wasn't necessarily directly connected with a black horse. Orion was the most famous black horse in Greek mythology. And now Orion was the horse child of Demeter. And Demeter is actually Lemos's opposite. So Demeter was known for being, you know, fruitful harvests and giving people food. Lemos was the opposite. So we do see a connection between a black horse and Lemos, but I'm not sure about that. And that's why I'm still digging. Same thing with the pale horse. We're talking about death and Hades followed. Hades is a real person. Like I just said, Hades is literally Hell or Osiris. This is the same person that followed him around and had different names and different mythologies. And then we're like, okay, then who's Death? That's Thanatos. Thanatos was literally called Death. That was literally who he was. And this is, again, another different person. These are 2 different people. And so forever ago, when I was like, okay, I was going through this and I wrote these little notes in the Bible, like with a question mark, is this Apollo? Is this Ares? You know? And so it was so funny, not funny, but the other day, you know, this movie trailer comes on, right? And so like I just told you that, you know, I think Ares is the red horseman. Well, you literally have this new movie that is just now coming out called Tron Ares. Have you seen the trailer? It's red everywhere. It's red. The whole movie's red. And the main character is Ares? Are you kidding me? So I'm
Jared Leto playing Jesus. Across the whole music industry, that all these people that are turning evil and doing evil stuff, it's all this red and black imagery in all their videos, and they all look exactly the same. It's the same reason, with the red and the black.
Yes.
Yep.
And whether or not these are real horses or not doesn't matter at all. This is how it's described. You know, they're trying to push you towards a real person. And again, back to movie props. Maybe they're not going to show up in their pretty little movie prop masks that they use in Egypt. They could show up as themselves again, maybe as Zeus and the way he looked again, but wearing a suit. Like they're not stupid. They're not going to show up, you know, wearing like, you know, early 1600s garb. I mean, so it's going to be more modernized, but these are the same people. They never died. Their animals never died. These creatures didn't die. So again, we're talking about like, why would there be so many connections between Greek mythology that we see and these horsemen and the chimera and everything else that we're seeing? But
I like what Alex said on YouTube. Tell a vision. Was it tell a lie?
Like television programming, but
tell
television.
a vision. That's interesting.
That's channeling. Well,
yeah.
It's
Wow.
called cricket programming. That's exactly what it is. Programming.
Yeah.
And coming from the program director himself. So,
right.
I do work for radio stations. I work radio, not for.
Well, see, and that was what Mark and I were talking about too. We were like, okay, so this is Lucifer and his fallen angels in different cultures. So, in Greek mythology, but they're gone, right? And then you see, the Egyptian gods are gone, right? We don't see them walking around. And I was like, so Lucifer's not going to give up on people worshiping him. And he doesn't. I mean, we have his shows are not going away. You have Chaos, which is on Netflix. Yep. That's us worshiping them again because we're watching Chaos. Then you have all these Marvel Thor movies, all these little kids wearing Thor and worshiping Thor in their own way. He hasn't let go of who he is and who he wants people to worship. Like he's never going to let go.
I was going to add a while ago, you were talking about those names and all the names that they have. They've used those. Not only they use those in movies and stuff, but the different names and stuff are listed in the Book of Enoch when it talks about the fallen angels. It gives you the name of like 12 generals or whatever, and it gives those names.
And I was going to
use them all over the place. The one that really shocked me because I'm an 80s kid, so like I watched the crap out of like some Smurfs. Azrael is one of the names. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Y'all use the daggone fallen angel name, the Smurfs? Yeah. And y'all remember the movie with John Goodman and there's a whole bunch of people played in it, and like there was a demon that would jump. What was it?
Flintstones.
No. There was a demon that would jump from like one person to the next person. Every time it would jump into somebody, they would sing "Time Is on My Side" by the Rolling Stones.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Okay, the name of that demon was also one of the names that are listed in the Book of Enoch. They put legit stuff in everybody's face because they think they're not going to know. And at the time we didn't. I do now.
Well, and that's why Enoch was taken out. That's why it was so important. Because even you have even the church right now that you mentioned even reading the Book of Enoch and it's not in their KJV Bible, they freak out. And so that's perfectly timed by Lucifer. He did this all perfectly. Because we can't talk about Enoch, or we're going to be crazy Christians that are talking about stuff that isn't in the Bible.
Those same people that are against reading other books
don't even read their book.
Won't have a problem reading a newspaper, which tells you all the bad news.
Yeah.
Won't have a problem reading their horoscope.
Yeah.
Or checking their whatever else crap that they have to check. But oh no, don't you bring up the book.
Yeah, even though the Bible references Enoch over so just not read that.
Yeah, a bunch of times. And not only that, it was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls along with every other book that was in the Bible. I mean, come on, people. Right. It would not have been in the Dead Sea Scrolls if it was like some kind of comic book that you read on the toilet. It was a book that meant
exactly
something.
Right.
It was in the Dead Sea Scrolls, for God's sakes.
Friends here on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and jump. I apologize if there was any lagging. I again blame that on my programmer wife. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And Lord willing, if she gets the courage to do this again tomorrow, perhaps.
Probably all people out, but we'll talk about it.
Either way, love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Thank you guys for chiming in.
I missed 30 minutes of it because now